In this episode, I'm going to share how to turn your YouTube channel into a business. I produce over 60 different YouTube channels that all generate business revenue. So we're going to talk about how you can turn a hobby into a business. And there's two different paths on YouTube, and we're going to discuss both of them so you know which path is the right one for you. We're going to discuss things like branding and business entities, if you need to set those up or not. So by the end of this episode, you'll know the right path to turn your YouTube channel into a business. Let's dive right in. The first thing that you need to decide is, do you want to turn YouTube into a business, or do you already have a business and you're wanting YouTube to support that business, such as lead generation? So those are drastic differences, black and white differences. If you don't understand the difference, then you really need to. You need to understand the difference in that. So let me explain it another way. If you have a YouTube channel and you're not generating any business revenue, maybe you have a job, a W-2 job, they pay you a paycheck, but your YouTube channel is totally separate, but you're wanting YouTube to become full-time so you can quit your job and have this YouTube business. Okay, so if that's the case, you actually become an independent contractor with YouTube. Your client is YouTube, right? So you make videos, those videos get views, advertisers on YouTube pay YouTube, and YouTube pays you 55% of that ad spend. So in that case, you're turning YouTube into a business. You're an independent contractor and YouTube is your client, YouTube pays you. Now the other side of it is you have a business, you offer a product or a service or coaching or consulting. That business would exist whether you had YouTube or not. But you see the advantages of using YouTube to grow an audience and to use YouTube as a lead gen source for that business. Now that you understand the difference between the two options there, as I share these other points throughout the rest of this video, I'll reference both sides so you can know which side of advice is most applicable to you so that you can have the most success. Another important topic to discuss, because it's a question I get asked a lot, is can I use my existing channel or should I create a new channel? Well, it's all based upon your audience. Who is the audience on your existing channel? This advice applies to both scenarios, but especially if you have an educational component to your business. Is this audience interested in that information? Are they interested in that topic? If they're not interested, then you definitely want to create a separate YouTube channel and curate that audience to be only the audience that is interested in your expertise. To make that more clear, let me share a personal example. Okay, so on one of my channels, I was talking a lot about YouTube strategy like I am here, but I made some mistakes on that other channel. Okay, so I was talking about YouTube strategy, but I also made a video about why I hire people in the Philippines. Now that topic isn't a bad topic, my audience likes that topic, but that topic actually took off for another audience. It took off for people in the Philippines that loved that I was talking about their country. And there were a lot of Filipinos that were hoping that I would hire them. And I actually gained many tens of thousands of subscribers of this new audience. The problem that I discovered too late is when I would post a video about YouTube strategy, this new audience did not like it. They did not watch that content. They only wanted to watch content about the Philippines. So I tried to work really hard to remove all that Philippine content and move it to another YouTube channel and redirect this channel to focus on YouTube strategy. But as you can tell now, you're watching Nate the Producer, I had to create a complete separate YouTube channel because it's way too hard to redirect the other one. So now coming back to you, if you have an existing YouTube channel, are we going to have to redirect that audience and you're using it for lead gen for your business? If it's going to be way too hard, then we definitely want to create a brand new YouTube channel. So what about this side? If you're focused on ad revenue and turning what you've got into a business, well, all you need is subscribers and views. You can look into the data, your YouTube analytics, and see which type of content is the most watched, is the most liked, or has the higher average view duration, right? You can look at the stats and see which content people want to watch, and then you can just create more content like that. You take your existing audience and you follow them where they lead you. You can experiment with different types of content, and the content that performs the best, that's what you continue to create. So in the example of YouTube strategy content versus Philippine content, that strategy would be, I'm going to follow the audience and I'm not going to make YouTube strategy content anymore, and I'm only going to make Filipino content or content that succeeds like that. Now let's talk about branding and a logo or a business entity like an LLC. If you're turning YouTube into a business, you're an independent contractor for YouTube. YouTube pays you, so you don't need a logo, you don't need a business entity. But if you're going to get into, say, sponsorships and have business relationships and form contracts with other entities, then yeah, you're going to need to set up a business entity. If over here you have a business outside of YouTube, then absolutely. However, on YouTube, you don't need to put your logo. You don't want to share your business name. You're typically going to have the channel be your name because there's 2 steps to video marketing that works amazingly well if you follow both steps. Most people skip step 1. So step 1 is build a relationship first. Once you have a relationship, send them to your website where they see your logo, where they see your promo materials, and they see your products and your services. So you don't need a logo for your YouTube channel. You don't want to focus on the business branding side there. You want people to find a person. But since you do have a business outside of YouTube, yeah, you need to register that business. All right, I'm going to hold up 2 books. I've got my book here. This is about the leaf strategy on how to leverage YouTube for lead generation. And I've got Daryl Leaves' book. This is about how to grow a massive YouTube channel for ad revenue. Both strategies work extremely well, but as I explained about the challenge I had on YouTube, these strategies don't mix. I was mixing this strategy with my YouTube strategy content, but when I started really feeding that Filipino content and building a different audience, that's what this strategy would encourage you to do. But it really killed this strategy. If you're still watching this video to this point and you're the person that says, you know what, I want to focus on ad revenue, I do want to turn YouTube into a business, then I highly recommend following Daryl Leaves on YouTube. I recommend his book. It's on Amazon. It's called The YouTube Formula. And Daryl Leaves is spelled D-E-R-R-A-L, Eves. All right, but if you want to learn the leaf strategy, I do have a book, but guess what? I put a lot of this content right here on YouTube. The next video that you should watch, I'll link to it right there. It goes in depth on my leaf strategy and shows you how you can dominate YouTube. And for your expertise, you can rank at the top of YouTube and dominate YouTube search. So if you'd like to learn that strategy, go watch that video next. It's called YouTube SEO Secret Strategy. I'll see you there.